Deadlock, a game which opened up its doors for invite-only closed beta testing in late summer of 2024, is a hero-based multiplayer online battle arena set in 1940s New York that sees a cast of supernatural monsters, agents, and even gods team up to complete a ritual, summoning a deity known as patrons. Today, we look at Pocket, heir to the famous supernatural weapons manufacturer Fairfax Industries, has been in hiding for the past 5 years after a failed assassination attempt was made on them, rumored to be orchestrated by their own father. With a powerful shotgun and highly mobile abilities, they thrive in close encounters. We'll break down their stats, strats, and abilities to give you all the information you'll need to chart your way to victory. At 700 base HP, scaling plus 36 every boon, they're in the middle of the road when it comes to base HP. And with 3 stamina, they see the same mobility potential as most others in the game. Pocket's weapon of choice is called the Black Sheep, a lever action shotgun that does 55 damage per second and has a fall off range of 46 meters. Barrage is Pocket's first ability, which sees them launch a volley of projectiles that deal damage and apply a movement slow. Each projectile landed on a hero grants Pocket a stacking buff that amplifies all of their damage. If you cast it while in the air, you'll float and maintain any horizontal momentum you started with. The first upgrade seeing a decent bonus to damage per projectile, and the last increasing the damage amp to 10% and the radius of the explosions by 2 meters. This skill is an effective ability you'll use to spam down your enemies in any situation, and also granting you huge damage amps against enemies that you hit with the projectile. Flying Cloak is Pocket's second ability, which sees them launch a sentient cloak that travels forward and damages enemies. Pressing the ability button again will teleport you to the cloak's location. The second upgrade, seeing the base damage of this ability almost doubled, and the last granting you plus 7 to your weapon damage for 10 seconds after teleporting to your cloak. A huge projectile that does pretty decent damage, plus is a staple of Pocket's mobility potential. Enchanter's Satchel is Pocket's third ability, which sees them escape into their suitcase, and when the duration ends, popping out and dealing damage to enemies around them. The second upgrade of this ability seeing the base damage almost doubled, and the last applying a 40% fire rate debuff to enemies you hit for 4 seconds. An extremely long iframe that you could also use to pop early and deal decent amount of AoE damage to enemies. Affliction is Pocket's ultimate ability, which deals current health damage and applies that damage over time to all nearby enemies. The second upgrade gives this ultimate a healing debuff by 40%. An unpurgeable dot that severely hampers enemies' ability to regenerate during fights. Now that we've talked about Pocket's abilities and their upgrades, let's talk about how to utilize their kit to erode the competition. Pocket is the definition of what it means to have the potential to outplay anyone. Think of their kit like colors you'd use to paint a beautiful masterpiece on canvas. Pre-plan your approach, but make sure to follow the ebb and flow of team fights to make the best decisions. From cloak into suitcase, teleporting away after affliction to dissuade the enemy from pursuing, to barrage into cloak, teleporting behind the enemy, quick casting affliction and suitcase to deal massive burst. There are plenty of combinations, and their order of use is flexible based on the situation you're in. Pocket is best when paired with heroes who can also apply deadly damage over time. Thus, heroes like Infernus and Shiv pair well since your ultimate's ticks cannot kill, but theirs can. On the opposite, heroes like Drifter and Yamato have the ability to stick to their targets extremely well, making it tricky to try and use your abilities to move around fights. When itemizing Pocket, early, look to grab items like Cold Front and Monster Rounds, to help you clear waves and get to brawling, in which you'll have an extra AoE spell in the form of an active. Mid, shift into items like Cultist Sacrifice and Majestic Leap to provide you fast jungle creep farm with decent buffs that'll help all your abilities, plus give you height for easy barrages. Late, look to grab items like Transcended Cooldown and Spirit Burn to maximize the outplay potential your kit provides. An example of an endgame build would be something like Ethereal Shift, Stamina Mastery, Warp Stone, Spirit Burn, Arctic Blast, Majestic Leap, Tank Buster, Transcended Cooldown, Boundless Spirit, Mystic Vulnerability, Diviner's Kevlar, and Mystic Expansion. This build will give you all the items you'll need to have really good burst damage, plus give you the maximum amount of tools you can use to break everyone's ankles. Now that you have a great base of strategies and items you can use to make the most out of Pocket, you too can cloak your way to victory. Tell me in the comments your favorite Pocket builds and anything I might have missed. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and make sure you come back for a breakdown on our next hero. 7. A Sociopathic Occultist.